While searching for information, you also need to be able to evaluate the sources you have found and to decide whether they are suitable for your project or not. The difficult part today is harder to find information, but to decide what is trustworthy and relevant. The sources you lean on and refer to will affect the credibility and quality of your work. On an academic level like this, your focus will probably lie in finding scientific material. But what are the characteristics of a scientific text? It might be described as an academic text written by a researcher with the aim to present and spread new scientific results. Scientific texts are also characterized by a clear structure, where the research methods and results are clearly defined. The target group is usually peer researchers and other persons who have knowledge about the subject area. There are various types of scientific publications, such as scientific articles, dissertations, research reports, and conference proceedings. The scientific status of the publications varies, and normally texts that have been peer-reviewed enjoy a higher scientific status than the rest. The manner of spreading new scientific knowledge varies according to academic discipline. Researchers in the natural science fields usually publish their results in scientific journals, whereas new findings in the social sciences and humanities are traditionally presented in book form. Student theses are also built on the scientific model with a clear structure, academic language, and references, but more often do not carry the same scientific weight as, for instance, scientific articles or dissertations. They might, however, be of help in establishing an overview of a subject area and can contain useful references. Non-scientific sources can of course also be relevant depending on your subject and how you use these sources in your thesis. You might be interested in consulting city plans, stable regulation, or various kinds of statistics. Maybe you want to show what is said in the media about a current topic. Then newspapers can be a relevant source. So which is the most appropriate source all depends on the context. Course literature and popular science publications can also provide easily accessible introductions and can be convenient when you want to get an overview of your research area. And these types of text are often secondary sources, which means you should try to trace the original source where the research result was first published and consult that original source if you want to use it in your own text. When you have found information, no matter what type of source, the next step is to decide whether it's a good source for your specific purpose. First, you need to see if it's relevant for your subject. And then you also have to consider whether the source is credible. We recommend you pay attention to the following factors. Who is the author? Is she or he a well-known person in the subject area? It is usually easy to find more information about the person via Google or other search services, and it is a good idea to see what else the author might have published and in what contexts. Is the author a university professor or working in a particular business or in an organization of some kind? If there is no information to be found on who the author is, you might have to reconsider finding another source instead. What is the current value of the source? Depending on the research field, the question of newsworthiness can be more or less relevant. Maybe you're working within a field that changes all the time. Then you should check if information is still valid or if there are new research findings. What is the purpose of the information? Is the author objective, presenting the subject from more than one point of view? Is he or she perhaps trying to sell you something or making some kind of argument? This is also something you could consider. Sometimes it's necessary to use sources with an agenda to prove a point. For instance, to refer to a certain debate article in the introduction of your work might be a successful way to catch the reader's attention and put focus on a current hot topic. Or, if you want to show how companies market their products, you might want to use their own descriptions, even if they are not objective. The important thing here is to be aware of the hidden agenda. Has the material been reviewed within a scientific context? Scientific articles have passed the process of peer review, and that means that they have been screened by other academic professionals before they were published. So when dealing with academic material, you might consider whether it has been peer-reviewed, a procedure that renders the text a higher academic status. Are there any references supporting the information? Look for corroborative information in the form of correct and trustworthy references. It is valuable to find more than one source supporting the same findings. To identify and evaluate information sources is an ongoing task during the process of thesis writing, so keep these criteria in mind while working on your project. Another important thing is to avoid so-called confirmation bias. Unconsciously, we often look for information that support what we already know or believe. It is therefore essential that you are on the alert and try to get a comprehensive picture of your research area to be able to cover different aspects of the subject. Good luck, and feel free to contact the library if you have any questions.